Welcome to the Explainer. You know, have you ever actually stopped to think about how much heavy lifting your sentences are doing every single day? Whenever we speak or write in English, we rely on this hidden, super-powered toolkit of hardworking helper words that operate completely behind the scenes. Today, we're going to expose those invisible mechanics. We're going to master the art of the auxiliary verb. Think about a main verb, something simple like eat, run, or study. On its own, pretty straightforward. But how do sentences pull off complex concepts of time, mood, or voice? How does a single action word handle all of that complexity totally by itself? Well, the truth is, it doesn't. Okay, let's dive into this.
Meet the auxiliary verb, or as you probably know it, the helping verb. By definition, an auxiliary verb is a verb that helps the main, full verb to write sentences in different tenses, moods, or voices. Think of the main verb as the superhero of the sentence, right? The one performing the core action. The auxiliary verb, that's the super-powered sidekick stepping in to do the structural heavy lifting so the hero can shine. And understanding this dynamic is absolutely crucial for taking your writing from basic to incredibly nuanced.
So here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll meet the helpers. Second, we'll look at the verb be. Third, the verb do. Fourth, the verb have. And finally, we'll put it all to the test. All right, section 1. Let's meet the helpers. Now, we are going to spend most of our time today on the big three, but there's actually a much wider cast of characters out there. You might know them as modals, but they act as really powerful auxiliary verbs. We're talking about words like will, shall, would, should, can, could, may, might, must, and ought. These little helpers dramatically expand our ability to express obligation, ability, and permission. For example, I think I should study harder. The main verb study gets a serious boost of obligation from should. Or, you may choose what you like. Choose is the action, but may is what actually grants the permission. Fun fact for you, ought is literally one of the oldest modals in English, tracing all the way back to Old English, even though, we kind of use it less and less in everyday conversation now. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the dual identity of certain verbs. The verbs be, do, and have are incredibly unique because they can be used as either a full main verb or as an auxiliary helping verb, completely depending on the sentence. Take a look at the left. I am a professor in the economics department. Here, am is doing all the work alone. It's the main verb. But on the right, I am taking a bath. Suddenly, taking is the main action, and am slides perfectly into that sidekick role as the auxiliary verb. It's pretty brilliant. Moving on to section 2, the verb be. So, one of the primary jobs of be as an auxiliary verb is to create progressive sentences. Basically, it helps express an ongoing, continuous action. Listen closely to how be changes the flow of time here. I am taking a bath. She is preparing dinner for us. They have been studying all night. And let's be honest, we've all claimed to do that last one at least once before a big test. Without these forms of be, the main verbs, taking, preparing, studying, simply wouldn't be able to communicate that the action is currently in progress. But wait, there's more. The verb be also controls the passive voice. This is super useful when we want to smoothly shift the focus of the sentence away from who is doing the action and onto who is receiving it. Listen to how the focus shifts in these examples. I was given a free meal. He was seen by fans at the airport. This song has been sung by all nations. The helping verbs was and has been step in to allow those main verbs given, seen, sung to operate passively. It literally changes the whole dynamic of the sentence. Okay, let's jump into section 3, the verb do. And this brilliantly illustrates how do steps in when a sentence needs to become negative. You see, the main verb usually can't just slap the word not onto itself without sounding, well, incredibly awkward or archaic. It needs a helper. Check these out in action. I do not know the truth. She doesn't agree with me. They didn't arrive here yet. The variations of do, like doesn't and didn't, they're doing the heavy lifting here. They carry the negativity, letting verbs like know, agree, and arrive remain perfectly intact. On top of that, do is absolutely essential for asking questions in English. To turn a statement into an inquiry, we almost always need to call on this specific sidekick. Do you want to have another one? Did he finish his homework? Do we need to keep going straight? Notice how the auxiliary verb always jumps right to the front of the sentence. It's like an advanced scout signaling to the listener that a question is coming, which lets the main verbs want, finish, need, sit comfortably later on in the sentence. Next up, section 4, the verb have.
Now, have is a real game changer because it actually bends time. It does this by creating what we call perfect sentences. These are sentences that span across different connected moments, usually linking the past to the present or an older past to a more recent past. Notice how these examples span different connected moments. I have been following you for a mile. We have done a lot so far. She had been queen of the town. The helper have or had basically stretches the action out. It gives it a rich, spanning history that a simple past tense main verb just couldn't achieve all on its own.
All right, section 5, time to put it to the test. Okay, we've studied the toolkit, and now it's your turn. We're going to put this to the test with a quick, interactive pop quiz. Here's your first challenge, quiz 19.1. I'm going to read this paragraph slowly. Your job is to mentally circle every single auxiliary verb hiding in the text. Ready? I have just heard that you didn't attend the meeting yesterday. Did you have a conflict with that time? I must ask that you explain the reason. Take just a second to lock in your answers. Let's see how you did. So the crucial point here is identifying which verbs are helping and which are acting. The answers are have, helping the word heard, didn't, helping attend, did, jumping to the front to help the main verb have ask a question, and must, which, if you remember from earlier, is one of our modals, helping the word ask. If you found all 4, fantastic job. You are really grasping how these mechanics work behind the scenes.
Let's quickly move to our final challenge, quiz 19.2. This one's multiple choice, so let's keep the pace up. Which of the following sentences does not show any auxiliary verbs? Option 1, I didn't have any reason to go there. Option 2, have we practiced this song enough? Option 3, 3 seats have been reserved for us. Or option 4, I am a professor in the economics department. Which one is flying completely solo without a superpowered sidekick?
And the answer is option 4. Remember our earlier discovery? Here, the verb be, in the form of am, is not helping another action. It is the sole, main hero of the entire sentence. In all the other options, didn't, have, and have been are stepping in to help out. Well, this brings us to a fascinating close for this explainer. We've exposed the hidden mechanics of be, do, have, and that broader cast of modal helpers. They really are the essential structural glue of our communication, constantly shaping our tenses, our moods, and our voices. So I'll leave you with this final provocative thought. What invisible helpers are hiding in the very next sentence you write? Keep your eyes peeled for those superpowered sidekicks. Thanks for exploring this with me today, and keep learning.